I always feel like I have to try and put myself together, but I'm like, hey, this is like a day in my life. Like I don't do a lot other than feed myself, hydrate, drink tea, and work on projects. So right now I am making my mojo bags. I'm making one for myself and one for my person. And I've been collecting all these random little roots and stuff from all over the country. Um, yeah, so these are kind of like, I like to experiment on myself. I won't put anything, all of those candles in the apothecary, everything like that. I have used them on myself. Any of the oils, all the spices, I use myself as an experiment to make sure that I'm comfortable with lending that magic out. So I wouldn't say lending that magic out. But anyways, and that also will be very restricted in 2025. Not that it's not right now. But yeah, so the first thought was I was going to do these little guys, right? So I bought a bunch of these from Temu, and they're like, but they're just too tiny because I've got roots going in here. I've got little baby crystals. I've got little things, right? And there's got to be a certain amount. So these were the originals. And then I went to the boxes, and the boxes, the clasps weren't tight enough. They were bigger in size, but the clasp wasn't big enough. So I didn't want things to get too gaudy. So I am going to be making my own like male. So these will be, or if you want something that's just more masculine and female, that'll be more like charm bracelet. I'll be doing that. But for right now, just for funsies and for experimentation, I am making a straight up. So this is green leather. So that's for abundance, right? And then I've got my red string, or wax string for protection. And then I've got my items, my gris that I'll be putting in here, and it's got to be a certain amount. And then, and then I put a personal item in there, and then I keep this on me. So more than likely I'll make a necklace of it or something like that. I wanted something where I could just take these little leather squares and you could just easily put it in your, your wallet or something like that. They're a little thicker and clunkier. That's kind of why I want to have a bracelet or an anklet. And again, people, you can go ahead and rip it off. I definitely have people who are like, oh, well, I'm going to go do it now. That's fine, but you're magic. You can't replicate. You can replicate an item, but you can't replicate the magic and the intention behind it. So go for it. Go have fun with it. But yeah, so I'm really excited. Oh yeah, I can feel the irritant. Yeah, again, I feel you through the screen. This is why I'm able to do readings on video, y'all. So yeah, so we've got this going. I haven't really worked with leather, except for when I was in like Girl Scouts, brownies, and Pathfinders and stuff like that. But I've always been interested. So what do you call it? Can you tell I'm tired? I was up and then up for 4 or 5 hours and went back to bed and then woke up again. Life of a psychic, right? So, but my brain isn't working. All right, that got ripped away. Either way, we are going to make our little triangle and stuff it and seal it and, yeah, and go off to the horse races. So these will be for sale. I'm actually probably going to be targeting card houses. But yeah, this is very old school, apparently a very old school. I came across this book about Gree and I had never heard about it. And then I just went down the rabbit hole and I'm fascinated because it's just everything that I love with incorporating herbs and stones, just alchemy at its best. And then going through the history of all of these people, including, presidents and actors and everything like that, that like go to practitioners for mojo bags and protection work and all this other stuff. I just didn't know there's such a rich history of good stuff, right? Here's the thing is, along with the bad comes the good. There's always a nice side of the trailer park. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm also, yeah, I finally got the closet together. I've got my Christmas tree ornaments together. I've got things vacuumed and cleaned. I've got my list organized. And it's so funny because I'm like, I'll go through a day and I'm like, I'm going to just pump out 30 videos. But it's a lot different getting ready, like doing the YouTube channel content than it is just getting on here and slinging cards, right? I pull out a card deck. I don't even need a card deck at these, and I'm not trying to be, it's a natural progression of being a reader, is that you don't necessarily need the cards at some point. They're just a jumping off point for your subconscious. And so I can get into flow and so it's very easy because it's not that it's not me, it's just I'm tuning into a radio station, right? It's like you're in one radio station, you tune into another one, and then you're just like really vibing, right? And it's like, I was just thinking of that song and that song shows up or whatever. That's kind of like what I don't like, again, using that word, the C word. I think for me, I prefer using the word flow because the other word brings a connotation that I am embodying evil, a spirit, or even embodying or connecting with or what have you. And don't get me wrong, because I do have a spiritual business. I am in contact with some of these beings, not necessarily by my own. The only reason why I've been in contact with them is because they've approached me because of other people using them, right? So as a professional courtesy, right, I've gotten to know what these people call demons, spirits, whatever, anything that has a consciousness in this, it can show up and speak to you. And it's not like, oh, because I'm on that level and I'm so psychic. No, it's called theta state, and we're going to talk about getting into theta. It's actually brain science. It's not just, oh, the bad Bible verses, all the other stuff, right? Please don't tell me you don't think that Jesus wasn't a channeler. Yeah. Please don't tell me you don't think Mark, Luke, John, all of those, the inspiration when they got into flow and got all of this, that they weren't channeling again, or in flow, or in spiritual inspiration, or that your pastor that can just TD Jakes, all these people that can just off the riff. It's called flow, right? They are tapping into a different dimension. They are receiving messages, right? But they're not the only ones because they have a PP. And this isn't a male or a masculine or whatever. It's literally called a flow state. It's something that everybody, the sheeple can have. Take that as confirmation. Did you feel the earthquake? The sheeple. There's a detonation place near here, so we get big bomb strikes. I love it because it's always confirmation in my readings. But it's the fact that we don't have to go to these brick and mortars and to these people at the stadiums or whatever in order to get divine inspiration. We are gods within ourselves, and that's what they do. They teach in the, you can't believe that God is in. Why would God not be in me? God created me. God wants me to not be dependent on other people. God wants me to rely on him. I don't think of myself as a god. How dare I? How dare I? I surrender. I make the right moves because I surrender. You talk about the faith of a mustard seed. I actually practice it, and it's been forced upon me. It's not something that I looked for or wanted or deemed. Do you think I would rather come out as trans than come out psychic? I think my family would much more accept me, right, than for me to come out like looking like some witchcraft, dark arts, whatever, which has nothing to do with just psychic abilities. And what's crazy to me is that everybody is so like up in roars and thinking that I'm lying about it and all this other stuff. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm not really worried about that because I wouldn't have come out of the closet. It took me 2 years for me to even come out of the psychic closet, right? But the fact is everybody's in uproars and this, that, and the other because I know I can expose them, right? I can get the information of the things that they've been hiding and the things that they've been doing and the things they've been saying and the things they've been throwing and all of the things. I have access, right? And that's a problem. So therefore, I have to be redeemed crazy and all of these things. So it just opened up a Pandora's box of abuse. And I'm going to continue opening the box because we need to go down. We need to restructure our mental health system. We need to restructure, honestly, when it comes even with this whole decree with divorce and making it difficult, more difficult for women, no-fault divorces in a lot of places. They're taking that away. All right. There's a lot of things where it's just it's a matter of control and whether somebody can get, power of attorney over you and skew the narrative so that they can do these life insurance scams and inheritance and identity theft and all of the things. But also there's an energy harvesting. So somebody, I feel like the person that made that comment, I know you want some attention. So the moonshine comment, oh, is that moonshine? You seem all over the place. Yeah, you are coming from a different hashtag, right? So my entire channel, up until this point, 700 videos plus, I am a psychic intuitive, and that's how I live my life. So I understand where you're coming from, trying to skew that little narrative of me, and you're totally blocked. But I want you to understand that the next time that you come at me, because you can do it from another account, right? But your energy signature is the same. So the next time you do that, I'm going to pull cards and I'm going to expose the 3 most uncomfortable situations that you don't see in your life that are around you. But I almost feel like that's like a favor, right? That's an energy exchange. You want to come and put some energy on my page. I will give you some energy, but it will be shocking. It will be public. It will be humiliating, and it will be true. So you can come on and do the things. And by the way, if you know where to get some decent moonshine, drop your girl an address, right? I used to hang out with these chicks. We would go up to the Shenandoah Valley, and they had this rich history of family of moonshiners that would run moonshine up and down, right? Appalachian, like old school moonshine, whatever. So yeah, I would love for you if you want to go ahead and, yeah, I am all over the place, and it's a beautiful thing, right? So I'm gonna take, if nobody knows who Sierra Ann is, she's one of my favorite YouTubers at this point. And you know what? Honestly, when I first started watching her, I was kind of like, I coming from a background of having a lot of weight on me. I was just like, man, that's a lot of trauma. And it was. And I see her healing. It's 2 years later. She's slowly losing it. She's keeping it off. She's a wonderful and now I'm inspired by the person. And so whenever I find myself being a judgy McJudgerson, the reason why I went down that rabbit hole is like she really started capitalizing on the hate, like the things people would say to her, right? And they don't even know her and say things. And it's like, this isn't normal. This is abuse. And I'm going to say things back to them. And I loved that attitude. And it really kind of just showed me, because I thought that she also was weak, right? Because of her size. Not that I thought that she was weak, but because I know the trauma. I know what that is. And I was like, something's got to be going on. And it was. And what she needed was just affirmation. She needed self-confidence. She needed to like go F yourself, right? She needed to go through the social media trauma. Like she got big really fast, right? Because people were on the hate train, and then she had to go, and then she just got her skin, and now it's thicker than whatever, and she's amazing. And I just, I like Tira. Oh, that gets me, right? Because like again, whenever something triggers me, I'm like, what is it in me that because I shouldn't be triggered or I shouldn't feel jealous or I shouldn't be envious? Do I feel like that's something I can't achieve? Do I feel like that's something that I can't be? Like now when I feel those feelings, I just examine them, figure out what it is, don't put it on the other person, and then go figure out something that's going to make me feel, because I'm like, oh, that's something that maybe I would like. Maybe I would like to be this, that, and the other or whatever. I never really thought, or I thought that, maybe other people would think like that would be to like, oh, like a social media, whatever, like, oh, you think you're full of yourself, whatever. No, it's called working smarter and not working, harder. Having social media capital is, if you're not doing it, you're not doing, if you don't know, you don't know. And you're right. You're like, well, I don't know. Tell me. And I'm like, go do the research. And yeah, I'm going to be here as a resource. But YouTube University, people just want things handed to them and say, give me. But I'm comfortable now on camera because I've been talking to it constantly, right? I'm comfortable with getting on software and learning it, knowing that I can, because I've done it with a bunch of other stuff that scared the crap out of me, and I'm realizing I'm capable of it, even though it wasn't something that I was exposed to. So it's exposure therapy, So yeah, right now we're making our gree bag. We're doing the things. You can cast your little spells. Oh, I wish I could tell you how I would tell you how I'm transmuting it, but you would stop throwing all of the evil eye and the hate and this, that, and the other. You would stop, and it would give me less fuel. So, because at first I was going to be like, well, I'll just let him know where all of that energy is going. But now, like before, it was like my hair follicles, but now it's like so much, especially with Mercury in retrograde. It's like, where do I need energy that I don't have the time to? So now it's like, oh, well, somebody, because before it's like, oh gosh, I can't see, let them see my laptop. They're going to throw something at, oh no, now I'm getting, well, I won't say anything, but the universe is showing me that you cannot fear evil eye. You cannot fear that when you get on the vibration of it, believing that it can hit you, then it does, because you believe in it, right? So right now, I'm at a point where I'm like, come at me, bro. Because first of all, I can smell it. That's one thing. I do have olfactory clairgustance. So anybody that's throwing on you're going to call me conceited, but I'm saying on a lower vibration, like literally on a lower vibration, because if you were on this vibration, sounds shitty, but it's literally like a math science thing, then your magic would hit me. But if you were on this vibration, you wouldn't be trying to hit people with magic, because you'd be comfortable in your life and doing your own thing and not right. So you would be on my vibration. We would be colleagues. We would be like friends. We would be like, hey, let's give each other ideas and all this other stuff. But because you're not, because you just want to hit something, right? Because you're mad or angry or blah, 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 or things are going on in your life, it's not going to hit. It's literally like a ladder type of thing. Right? So it's like, sure, if you want to get on a higher vibration, your magic would hit me, but you wouldn't want to be throwing magic. People that are in a certain vibration, we're not thinking about other people. We didn't get here thinking about hurting other people. It's literally how we got to a high vibration, is stop caring about other people and caring about ourselves, turning our attention to ourselves and making sure we're getting the work done for ourselves and not looking for outward validation in order to make sure that, am I doing good? Do you think this is good? Do I get a big hat on the head? No. Think for yourself. Question authority.